Hello. I was gonna do a full introduction, but okay, I will. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharice. Okay, I was trying to think very quickly of like another line to go on top of that to me, like, this is the awakening. Oh, this is, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this just one more time, okay? Hello, my name is Sharice, and this is the awakening experience. It's a little sloppy. Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new, upon which, welcome back in the future, because I know you're gonna want to watch these after this. So I started taking this video and I started going on the topic that I wanted to speak about, but I stopped partway through because I realized that my earbud was not in, and I think that I need to be very careful about my words right now. I think that a lot of my messages that I have put out there have been a little bit hard-hitting for some people. I can feel it triggering a lot of people on my channel, and I am, man, like, I know triggers are not like a bad thing, and it shows a place where change is happening and growth is being created, but I am definitely trying to be a little bit more sensitive. I am trying to be more sensitive. It's so funny that I say that because I am like such a sensitive person, but I feel like there are times that life is calling me to a deeper level of sensitivity, and life is calling me out on certain things. I actually had a relationship recently that required a massive amount of sensitivity and me letting go my pride and my ego. And what really made me realize that was taking a step back from it after I had my little ego trip and was kind of like, fuck you, and seeing that I am such a sensitive person, and I ask for a level of sensitivity from other people that they don't normally give, and I am usually the most sensitive one in my relationships, and in this specific relationship, I am not. This other person, she is actually the most sensitive one in it, and I realized that there is nothing wrong with me letting go my pride and my ego to extend her more sensitivity, and that is something that I have asked of others and that they have done for me. So this was my time to do that for somebody else. So I have been trying to use my words very wisely on my channel because I can feel when it hits home for certain people, and I am not trying to like twist the blade into anybody and give more than you are able to process. So Spirit has just kind of been telling me that I need to be a little bit more sensitive with my messages for you guys. So I am going to try to do that, and I'm kind of switching up the plot of this video. It was originally going to be on how your intentions, your gaze, your words, and your thoughts have an effect on the people around you and in your life. And I kind of want to switch this over to learning to not be offended by those things from other people, because it has more to do with their own inner healing journey. It has to do with their own inner chaos so much more than it has to do with you. Something that I have learned about forgiveness in relationships in my life, as well as a lot that has to do with me. I am the type of person that I will say I have grown so much. I am an extremely kind-hearted person, but when I have been hurt in past relationships, when I have been like really, really fucking hurt, I have learned over the past decade how to be so much more wise with my words, because I would rather give the room for us to grow within that relationship rather than to just demolish any possibility of future growth happening by not using my words wisely and by using them as a weapon. If you are somebody who is very empathetic and who is very psychic and you see very deeply into people and you are also very good with your words, be careful. Be careful. Use your words wisely. Please do. Please use your words wisely. This is me. I'm not like trying to call anybody out right now. I am calling out myself in this. But yes, I am trying to be more sensitive in these videos for some of you guys. Because I know what it feels like to feel attacked, and even though that's not what's happening. Guys, what is going on with other people does not have to do with you. And it might feel like it does. Maybe you're a part of what's going on inside of them, but that is their own inner chaos. That is their own inner battle. You gotta stop taking responsibility for the way that other people treat you in your life. And also, I think that it is necessary to extend forgiveness in your relationships when other people say and do things that aren't necessarily the most positive or healthy responses in that relationship, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and everybody is going through their own inner hell in some way. If you are at this point in your life going through an inner hell, we are all learning how to treat each other better. We are learning how to treat each other better, and that doesn't mean that we're all going to be perfect at it all the time. So, you deserve forgiveness. I deserve forgiveness when we screw up and say or do things that aren't necessarily beneficial in those relationships. Another thing I wanted to just kind of touch on, because it's something that I've been noticing a lot in my life, is when people just kind of like give you that little side eye, you know, that little glare, just for a moment. And I have been actually questioning this because I notice myself doing this sometimes, and I'm like, I don't actually feel any hate towards that person. Like, why is that? It's like just a muscle twitch. It's like a response that it's obviously something subconscious or unconscious is going on in there. And there are times I've just gotten so offended by this when people just give me that little side eye, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why do you hate me? And the more that I've grown and the more that I've meditated on this, the more I realize that there is something going on inside that person's energy field, inside of that person's mind and their heart and their body that has nothing to do with you. And maybe there is something within your spirit that is triggering that response from them, but that is greatly subconscious. That is a greatly subconscious response. I think that there are some times when somebody is just like kind of glaring at you with hate and they know, and there is like purposeful, intentional like hate. But honestly, the more that I experience this from myself and others, the more that I realize that this is really just an unconscious reaction. And I think that when people are going through some type of inner turmoil, sometimes this will rise up more often. Sometimes people, like, they're doing that towards everything in their life, and it doesn't just have to do with you. Sometimes it has literally nothing to do with you. Sometimes it's not even that something in your spirit is triggering them. They just are going through fucking hell inside, and they're just kind of like towards everything. So that's just something to pay attention and learn to be less offended by as well. I'm a very sensitive person. I've made videos about this, about how like I don't really like the whole like agenda of like not giving a fuck about anything, and like it's just refusing to extend sensitivity to yourself and other people. But you know what? I do find a huge benefit within learning to not be offended by other people and other things happening outside of you. because it doesn't have to do with you. Even if you think that it has to do with you, it doesn't. Make space within you by not being offended by that so you can love that person more deeply. A lot of times when people have that subconscious, unconscious kind of reaction where they're just kind of like easily triggered or easily just sensitive to other people or things going on in their life, and they got that little side eye going on, sometimes they just need a little more love. Sometimes they need to be seen more deeply than what is seen on the surface. I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? When you're going through hell and you are that sensitive that you're just like towards everybody, you deserve people in your life who see past that and who are like, you're just a little grumpy today. You're going through some shit. It's okay. You're going to be all right. I still love you. Get it out, man. It's okay. Create a safe space for the people that you love to experience negative emotions. This is a big one, guys. This is a big one. Negative emotions like sadness or anger, disdain, like, these aren't bad. They're not bad. They're a part of life. Give people that you love a safe space to experience these so they do not create roots. The more that you keep emotions like that inside of you, the less that you have a safe environment to express these things, the more that they will begin to build roots inside of you, because the seeds of disdain and sadness and anger have been planted at this point. The way that you uproot those things is by expressing them in safe environments. Whether you are alone or around other people, allow people to feel whatever it is that they are feeling without extending hate towards them for feeling that. You deserve to have a safe space to feel these things, to let them go, to get them out of your system, to get them out of your energy field. So learn to also create this safe space for other people to express the negative emotions and the negative feelings. Learn to not just be so offended and hurt by everything that is negative that is coming out of the people that you love in life. And I'm not saying like I'd say this in all my videos, this is not including abusive relationships. If you are in an abusive relationship in your life, you need to leave. You need to leave. Get the fuck away from that person because you deserve better if it is abusive. But if this is just a dynamic where like this person is not abusive, but they are just going through some shit and they're not necessarily handling things that well right now, maybe space is a good thing to give. But maybe they just need some comfort and some love and some reassurance that you're not going to leave. I think that that is something that most of the relationships in my life need the most, is reassurance of safety, no matter what they're feeling. I had a dream that this guy I started seeing all these spirits, and my psychic senses around sight began to open in a very deep way, and I was flooded and overwhelmed with the massive amount of spirits I could see everywhere, and it was just too much for me to handle. And this strange man like entered into the view, and I just was like, just hold me and tell me I'm safe. And he wrapped his arms around me, and this was one of the most comforting dreams I've ever had. He just wrapped me in his arms and told me that I was safe. And I woke up and I was like, this is what the world needs. This is what the world needs. The world is going through such a massive awakening experience right now. So many people who are not in tune with their psychic gifts, they are awakening and opening. With your spiritual gifts, if you are somebody who is more religious, psychic is a word that's kind of like, but spiritual gifts, gifts of discernment, gifts of the spirit, okay, these are the biblical terms for it. It's the same thing. The world is going through a massive waking up. We are becoming more cautious together. We are all growing in ways that is just, woo! Those upper chakras are lighting the fuck up. And the world, you can kind of feel it. It has this weird shift that's like, I feel like it's been so far in the 3D, so far in like the present and the earth, that like now that is waking up to a new dimension. We are all waking up to a new dimension. We are starting to see things in a different light. We are ascending, if you want to call it that, into deeper love, into deeper understanding. Those upper chakras are lighting the fuck up, which means that we need to start balancing the lower chakras. That means that when people are waking up in these areas, they need reassurances that they are safe, and the world is going through this. The whole world is going through this. Show the people in your life that they're safe with you. Make space for them to feel safe. And if you've done something that has maybe triggered feelings of unsafety, like I have recently in a couple of my relationships, I have done things that I could have handled so much differently, but I didn't. I did not extend safety in these situations, and I triggered massive feelings of unsafety in relationships, a couple relationships that are extremely important to me. And you know what? I could walk away from that and be like, fuck you, that's your problem. Like I have done in the past. I could do that. I could. I'm actually really good at doing that. But no, this time I recognize that that is what I need from other people, and it is time for me to fucking get the fuck over my bullshit ego and extend that to the people that I love as well. Because if I am going to ask for that in my relationships, I have to be ready and willing to give it to others, even when I look at it at first and think that it's ridiculous that I have to do that. That's your pride. That's your pride and that's your ego. That's a pretty big ego trip. I will call you out right now if that's what you're going through, because that's what I've been going through. Also, if my videos trigger you in any way, a part of me apologizes for that, but I also want you to know that this is what I'm going through too. I'm making these videos based on things that I am currently calling myself the fuck out for. These are things that I am calling myself out for, that I need to improve in my life and in my relationships as well. So I am not trying to belittle or be mean to anybody in these, because these are things that I still have to work on and that I am still imperfect in. But I am noticing how important they are in the world right now. How if it's important for me, it's probably also important for my relationships, for the other people in my life as well. If it's something that I require from other people, they will probably also require it from me, because we are not necessarily all going through the same exact things. But unity consciousness is real. When you are in certain areas or around certain groups of people, we go through things together because we are connected. Energetically, everything is connected, and the things that you spend the most time around, the people you spend the most time around, are the most connected to you. So when you go on this little ego trip that says nobody understands me, I'm going through this all alone, like I have been lately. I'm like, I'm so alone. Nobody understands how alone I am. I'm like, the other people in my life are going through this shit right now. I'll like have conversations with my best friend and I'm like, whoa, like different. We're going through different things, but also the emotional turmoil is like the same. Like the way that is affecting our hearts is the same. We are dealing with the same battles with different stories and plots connected to them. The people in your life are going through the same things as you. Maybe it looks a little different, but you're not alone, and neither are they. And it's time that we start connecting with each other and showing up for each other in a more deep level, because we need each other. I have not been showing up in my relationships in the way that I have needed to. I will say that right now. I have not been showing up in my relationships in the way that I have needed to, and in the way that they have needed me to. And that hits. And I could cry about that shit, which I have, because when I feel really bad when I'm like, God, I hurt people, and I feel really sad about that. But this is necessary. This is a massive ego death. A lot of people are going through a massive ego death right now. A lot of people are learning how to lay aside their pride. A lot of people are starting to recognize how deep their traumas and symptoms from abuse are, how much they have become who they have become now because of abuse, because of the trauma that they're going through. I'm realizing that it's time for me to extend way deeper love to people in my life, because they need it. Rather than sitting here and just being like, but I need love. I need love. I need love. Where's my love at, huh? Where's my love? Where's your understanding my needs? Fuck that. That's an ego trip. That's an ego trip. That's the trip that I've been on. Okay? If that's what you're going through and you feel triggered by me saying that, that's what I've been going through. Is putting myself before everybody else and being on this trip of being like, I don't fucking even care about this person anymore. I don't fucking care. They hurt me. I care. I care. I value the relationships in my life, and I don't want to let them go. And it's time for me to realize that if I do not want to let those relationships go, I need to extend deeper sensitivity to some people. So that's what I've been doing. Maybe this is a little bit of an intense video for some of you. I hope that you know how loved you are. I hope you know how loved you are. If you are struggling to see the love in the relationships in your life, I just want to let you know right now that you are way more loved than you realize. Like, way more loved than you realize. If you are somebody who is a part of my life, I love you way more than you realize. And I'm in a period of my life where I am learning to extend deeper levels of grace and understanding towards people in my life. Grace, understanding, patience, and love. Because I'm realizing that that's also what I deserve. That's what I deserve, and that's what I want. And if that's what I want from the relationships in my life, it's time for me to start being that for them too. I want to feel safe in my relationships. So it's time for me to start making those relationships feel safe. I want people to show up for me So it's time that I start showing up for people. I want people to start seeing me more deeply and understanding me and my needs and providing for me in the ways that I need from them. So it's time that I start doing that. It's time that I start seeing other people more deeply than what is on the surface and start extending them what they need. That's breakthrough. That's love. That is not an ego trip. You do not lose anything by being the person who steps up to love the people in your life other than your pride and ego. And there is a certain level of pride that is very healthy. There is. But the type of pride that I'm speaking on is an ego trip. It's always expecting everything from everybody else while not giving from yourself. It's always pointing the finger at somebody else rather than looking at yourself and in what ways that you can create change to create that in your life. It is powerful to move out of that ego trip. It is powerful to let your pride go. It is powerful to prioritize other people's needs in your life as long as you are able to give. Something that I've realized in my life is that my cup is overflowing. My cup is overflowing, yo. I am a bubble of love, a massive fucking bubble of love. I have so much love to give people that I don't even know. I go places and I can feel people energetically and what they are going through in their own emotional world, the traumas and hurts that they are feeling in their life. And I will ask them energetically if I can send them love and healing energy. And most of the time, their spirits, whether consciously or unconsciously, respond saying yes. And I will extend that to them and I will send them healing energy. And by the time you can see the shift inside of them, that they felt that love. This is a part of what I was going to speak about originally in this video, is people can feel energetically, like this is a part of this massive waking up in the world right now, is that people can feel when you are extending hate towards them and when you are extending love towards them, whether it's in your thoughts, whether it's in your gaze, your actions, your words, your intentions. People can feel the difference between when it is in love and when it is in hate. There are way more people who are psychically aware than you realize. Way more, dude. That is so beautiful. That means that you have a million opportunities to extend deeper love to people. There are times that I go places and I'm just like a bubble of like anxiety because I am a little bit more of an introvert, and sometimes I can be afraid of people and I can get overstimulated, and then I will connect with somebody energetically there that I am just like, oh, I'm here to love you. Hey, I'm here to love you. And I notice a shift, an actual shift in that person from the time that I got there and the time that I leave, because of the love that I extended to them energetically, because they can feel that they are being understood and seen deeply by somebody. That is powerful. That is powerful. That is the power of love. Y'all, this is the power of love. I love love. I love love, and I love getting to love people. My cup is so overflowing, and there are times I'm just fucking down on myself and life and in this triggered ego ball, self-hate, just like, I need love. And then I move through that. And those periods are necessary. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want you to know. Maybe that's not the best state to be in. It's not the most positive place to be in. You feel real empty then. But let yourself pass through that and out of it. And I let myself pass through and out of that. And I realized that, whoa, my cup is so overflowing with love. I don't even know what to do with it sometimes. Like, I gotta fucking give this shit to somebody. That's what makes me check myself in my relationships. Because to be honest, not everybody's cup is as full as mine is. That's the reality of this situation. It's not just about turning the other cheek. It's about being the better person when you can. If you are capable of showing up in your relationships better than the other person can at that time, maybe it's because you're supposed to. Maybe if you, at this point in your life, have more love to extend the people to extend to the people in your life, it's because you're supposed to. What if that isn't an imbalance in your relationships, that you have more love to give in this moment? Maybe that is what shows that there is a balance. You are helping create balance in this environment by letting go of your ego and pride and actually allowing yourself to love the people in your life who need it. This is part of being a healer. I saw this little meme that was like, the universe doesn't always send people into your life who are the same as you, but sometimes God will send people into your life who need what you have, who need the love that you have to give. Realizing that I am just so fucking overflowing with love, and that by letting go of my ego and my pride that says I need to receive that from somebody else first, I'm being motherfucking selfish with all this love inside of me? Because that person is in a dark place and cannot provide for me in the way that I need. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm about to love some motherfuckers up in this bitch. Because I can. Because right now, I am capable of extending a deep amount of fucking love to the people in my life who need it. It's time that I started doing that. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm fucking doing. Is I'm going around and I'm going to start loving people more deeply. I'm going to be less offended by things that they say and do. And be like, it's okay. You're just feeling some big feelings right now. This goes along with inner child healing. There is a traumatized child within, I want to say most of us. Some people have done an immense amount of healing on themselves. I am realizing that I have done a lot more healing on myself than I thought. There are times I'm like, wow, I'm way more traumatized than I thought. But then it's like counteracted with but at the same time, dude, I have healed myself way more than I thought. There is a little traumatized child inside of a lot of people that when they are going through triggers, it is triggering a deep state of feeling unsafe that probably has roots in their childhood. But sometimes you can look back on the past relationships that they've been in and you can see roots there as well. But it generally, the original root stems from a childhood. So when people do things that are offensive to you, start looking at them like a little child who's hurting. There's a little kid in them that's lashing out because they're afraid. It's not because they hate you. It's not because of hate at all. It's because of pain, and it's because of fear. It's because there is something triggering them inside and saying that they're not safe. So their inner child is busting out and being like, no, we ain't dealing with this shit today. We gotta protect this motherfucker. It's not because of hate, guys. They just desperately want somebody to show up for them and remind them that they're safe and that it's okay for you to feel that. It's okay for you to feel that negative emotion. It's okay for you to feel afraid, for you to feel anxious. It's okay for you to feel like you want to run away. The more that you bring an element of safety to your relationships, the more you are going to allow deeper love into that relationship, the more growth that is possible. I made a video recently about how some relationships are worth saving, and I will put a link below in the description. It's also, I talk about like using triggers as ways to grow your relationships rather than break them. I do really encourage you to check out that video. I feel like it's very deeply connected to this, but this is a whole other video in itself. Just, I believe in you guys. I know how easy it can be to be offended and triggered. But if you are going through some type of relationship in your life and you are both being triggered by it and both of you are feeling states of not feeling safe, if this person matters to you, if this is a relationship that you want to grow in and you are watching this and you realize, wow, okay, that's what's going on, I encourage you to extend deeper love, deeper patience, and deeper understanding to that person who is in need. Sometimes in your relationships, it's not just both people realizing at the same time and both of you stepping up at the same time. Sometimes that isn't. That's really fucking cool to see. Oh my god, that's so magical. Wow, the magic of watching two people grow together at that same rate. Wow, that gives me chills. I love that. But there's nothing wrong with being the person who helps bring deeper healing into the relationship. There's nothing wrong with, when there is chaos in your relationship, being the person to step up. Breathe deeply. I think often this is something that I was talking to a friend about recently, about chaotic relationships, and when there is moments of like static and friction, and kind of learning to be the person that steps up and extends grace into that, and how that doesn't necessarily mean that person is just going to break down their walls immediately. Remain stable in your response. Okay, just do your best, because none of us are perfect out here, and the best is all that you can give into the relationships in your life. And if you are extending deeper grace and patience and love into something with someone and they aren't necessarily reacting in the way that you wanted them to, be patient. Be patient. It might take a little bit of reaffirmation and reassurance. Sometimes it takes a little bit to let that trust back in after triggers in your relationships, but if this is somebody who is worth you keeping in your life, be patient with them. Just keep reminding them, you're safe. You're safe. I still love you. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You're all right. You're gonna be okay. I believe in you. Sometimes you have to see past other people's egos and the mask that they're wearing. Sometimes you have to see past that to the little kid that just desperately needs love and reassurance. And there is nothing wrong with you being the person who gets to extend that love to them. That is beautiful. that is beautiful. If you love somebody in your life who is deeply traumatized by the things that they've been through, I just want to say, as somebody who has been through a lot of abuse and trauma, if you are the person who is actively moving to make them feel safe, you are so valuable in their life. You are so valuable in their life, and you might not realize it, but you are literally rewriting their definition of love by showing up for them, even when it's difficult. Even when their walls go up and saying, no, I see you. I see you. I see past your bullshit. And I see that you just need love. You are so valuable in that person's life. And I am personally grateful that you are a part of their life. I am personally grateful for the people in my life like that. And I know that other people in my life are grateful for me being that person to them. So, that is going to be it, guys. Oh, wow, this was a cool video. I honestly did not know where I was going with this, but this was awesome. I'm so glad to share with you. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope that you guys have an absolutely magical day. I just want you to know that I love you so much, so deeply. I hope that you realize this. I know that a lot of you are strangers, but I do extend very deep love to a lot of you. Just breathe deep. Just breathe. It's all gonna be okay. You're more loved than you think that you are. Way more loved than you think you are. It's actually really beautiful. You might not see it right now, but goddamn, if you're watching this video, yeah, there's so much love around you. You have no idea, and I'm excited for the moment that you actually begin to see it. Maybe this is the moment. I believe in you guys. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.